GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
GUVI, a vernacular edutech brand, skilling everyone everywhere.
Hello, welcome to Galata Plus Reviews. This is the review of Poacher, the new Amazon original 8-episode series created by writer-director Richie Mehta. Talking about Richie Mehta, if he hadn't taken up filmmaking, I reckon he would have become a journalist. I say this because he has all the qualities of a great truth-seeking reporter who treats you to insightful information that you didn't know about and makes you see the world with a fresh pair of eyes. Like a thrilling, informative Frederick Forsyth novel, Poacher dives deep into the intricacies of the illegal poaching business and the vast network that involves remorseless or conflicted bottom level executors and influential top level dealers and business people. After delving into the aftermath of a gruesome crime in his Emmy Award winning first season of Delhi Crime, Mehta returns to another kind of upsetting crime, ivory poaching. Unlike season 2 of Delhi Crime, Poacher has the full involvement of Mehta in a directorial capacity. Primarily a Malayalam language series, Poacher has a fair amount of Hindi, Bengali and English. Malayali writer Goban Chidambaram, who penned the Malayalam films Yominte Pustakam and Thuramugam, has been credited with the Malayalam lines this time. While some of these lines are burdened by the weight of translation and save for one or two awkward instances of dialogue delivery, most of these lines are on point or passable. Poacher is, after all, a series whose principal strength is derived from the writing and staging prowess of its creator and, of course, its three principal actors, Nimisha Sajayan, Roshan Mathew and Divo Bhattacharya. Nimisha plays Mala Jogi, a fiercely determined forest range officer who has her own reasons for going after the perpetrators. Roshan Mathew plays Alan Joseph, a data expert involved in wildlife crime, who also happens to moonlight as a snake expert. Divo Bhattacharya is Neil Banerjee, a field director in the Kerala Forest Department with a strong background in intelligence. There are other actors in this series too, in notably functional roles and sometimes quite effective ones, such as Kaniku Sridhi's role, who is another crime fighter whose screen time, despite being relatively shorter, shows up with palpable angst and ferocity. As in Delhi Crime, Poacher gives the women ample space to shine. Among the other Malayali names, we get Kumbalangi Nights actor Suraj Pops as an integral character, and there is of course Ranjita Menon as the graceful, understanding wife of Roshan's character. Poacher sees Nimisha demonstrating her finest work since The Great Indian Kitchen. Some of the Malayalam lines, peppered with cuss words, seem a bit forced and artificial, but there is no doubt about how convincing Nimisha sells her character's single-minded purpose and vulnerability. There is a pivotal moment where she comes close to losing her life, and this woman, who up until that point came across as someone incapable of showing her softer side, breaks down while talking to her mom on the phone. Roshan doesn't play his character like the usual stereotypical geek. He doesn't wear glasses or drink multiple cups of coffee. He's one of the calmest characters in the show. Even when he becomes elated at cracking something he was very confident about, he doesn't react like one of those hyper-eccentric techies in Hollywood movies. There are some very hairy scenarios into which Alan, Mala and Neil are thrown. These are appropriately anxiety-inducing sequences that Mehta stages with the precision and urgency staging skills of someone like, say, director Paul Greengrass. However, the true show stealer is Dibendu's Neil Banerjee, a workaholic battling his personal crisis while immersed neck deep in the investigation. We can see that beneath his often calm exterior, there is much turmoil going on. His work, we assume, is his way of distracting from his troubles. And it's working out well for him, even if it means making certain sacrifices on the personal front. A skilled juggler of information, Neil has his eyes everywhere, occasionally scanning his environment for potential moles or data leakage. This is a man who has mastered the art of spycraft. Dibendu plays Neil as a man who can be curt when he needs to be, but is also sympathetic to the needs of those putting their lives on the line. Despite bringing a documentary level of grittiness to the proceedings, Mehta is perfectly aware that this is also a work of entertainment. Poacher is a perfect example of controlled chaos where Some of the most unexpected threats can come from the most sedate corners. The visuals often boast a lyrical quality. Sometimes we see the recurring image of animals constantly looking at their human cohabitors, either from up close, a distance, or from above. It is as if these animals are looking at us with caution. In some cases, we wonder whether it's a cry for help. Some of the visual effects shots are tacky, but they work in the case of some close ups, particularly in those very hard hitting moments. In a story about murdered animals and how it seriously affects our ecosystem, there is continual emphasis on the idea that humans are the real animals. In one of the later episodes, we see a brilliant juxtaposition of events from two timelines, and the cumulative effect is equal parts harrowing and fascinating. Take the scene where the poachers decide what to eat for dinner. It's a twisted version of the predator prey parallel. The final episode ends with an emotional image sure to tug at your heartstrings. It's a fitting closure for a character carrying the weight of her father's sins for the longest time. While on parents and children, Poacher occasionally invites us to ponder on the conflicts tied to the livelihood of families which depend on the death of a magnificent creature. But the show remains clear about its true intention, being a clarion call for doing the right thing, even if it means making you uncomfortable. So that's the review of Poacher. See you all next time.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
GUVI, a vernacular edutech brand, skilling everyone everywhere.